If you take nothing else from this video, if you don't watch it till the end, I want you to take this mantra with you and repeat as often as necessary. I am not the burden. MS or my chronic illness is the burden. Everyone I love is sharing its challenges with me. I've been living with MS for over 18 years now, and there have been times that I have felt like a burden, or that I worried about becoming a burden to my family and those that love me, especially when I was first diagnosed. That was one of the first thoughts that I had. Oh no, is my family going to be forced to take care of me if I become disabled? It stinks. And add to that dealing with our symptoms and our medications and their side effects and the fear of the future. It's a lot. Have you ever felt like a burden or worry about becoming one? Let me know in the comments below. Today, we're going to talk about these feelings, and my hope is that I can offer you some insights and tips that might help. I want to start by talking directly to you, the one person watching this right now. Not my bigger audience of my subscribers and my viewers, but you, the one person looking at me right now. You are not a burden. I hope that others have said this to you, but if they haven't, I'm telling you right now, you're not the burden. You are valued and you are a loved person. There are challenges that are inflicted on you because of illness, but they are not who we are, and they're not our fault, okay? I'm in a lot of groups and online forums where I read the most gut-wrenching and heartbreaking posts with things like this. My 13-year-old said, "We can't do anything without your MS ruining it." I experience guilt every day as a wife and mother. My boyfriend resents me since my diagnosis. My biggest fear is becoming a burden to my family and them having to take care of me if things get worse. I hate being a burden. I am a burden. Let's start with talking about changing the narrative a bit. Sometimes it's about needs being met. We have needs that need to be met, and so do our loved ones. Sometimes we sacrifice to meet the needs of them, and sometimes they sacrifice to meet ours. It's a give and take. Sometimes it's societal expectations. How many times have you been told, "You're an MS warrior. You got this. You're going to beat this"? Yeah. There are many days that I don't feel like I've got this or I'm going to beat it. I invite you to let go of these societal expectations around our illness and how we live with it. Sometimes the ones that love us are carrying their own burdens. They have things that they're dealing with that have nothing to do with us and our disease and our needs. They're dealing with their own struggles, and they may not be doing it very well at any given moment. I encourage you to offer grace to them when they're having a hard day too. Sometimes we worry more about what others are thinking. Does this ever happen to you? Do you get inside your own head and think things like, "Oh, he has to do so much around the house since my diagnosis. He must hate that." Or, "They must resent me for having to help me." Or, "She must be so tired from helping me." Sometimes we create a story that isn't necessarily true. We don't know what's going on in their heads. They may not mind at all. Maybe, just maybe, they're thinking, "I'm so glad I can help around the house so she can rest." Or, "I'm honored to be able to help." Or, "Even though I'm tired, I'm so happy to help my loved one." Here's the thing. Everyone has needs. If we are in any kind of relationship, there will be times when each person in the relationship will have needs that need to be met. And there's a back and forth, a give and take. We struggle and then we rally. We struggle and then we rally. We have good days and we have bad days. So what can we do? There are a few things. Self-care. We can take exquisite care of ourselves. It's not selfish to take care of ourselves and put ourselves first. There are practical things that we can do to help support our bodies to live as well as we can and manage our symptoms so we don't feel like burdens. We can eat the most nutrient-dense foods we can find to support optimal health. We can exercise and move our bodies as we're able to keep them strong and flexible. We can commit to getting the best sleep possible every night to restore and heal. And we can engage in mindfulness practices daily to bring peace and joy. All of these will support our bodies, reduce inflammation, reduce symptoms, and possibly prevent progression. They can also help us to have a more positive outlook. Look at it as putting your oxygen mask on first. You know, when we fly and the attendants give us those instructions at the beginning of the flight, they tell us, if needed, always put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. If we do our best to take care of ourselves first, then we're going to be more able to help others that love us. Next is communication. Because we have this crazy disease that can vary from day to day, it's so important to communicate with those that love us and let them know when we're having a bad day. And also let them know when we're having a good day. And many of our symptoms are invisible, so letting those around us know when symptoms ebb and flow can help them to understand better. Can you imagine how confusing it is for our loved ones to see us functioning and doing things and then all of a sudden we can't? Using analogies can sometimes help. One of the ones that many people with MS use is the spoon theory. We wake up with X number of spoons, and activities throughout the day deplete our spoons. And when the spoons are gone, we're done. We can't do anything else. I did a video on this, and I'll put a link above and in the description below if you'd like to check it out. Along with communication is setting boundaries and offering alternatives without anger, shame, or frustration. Simply stating what we can and cannot do. I'm not able to do that today, but I hope to do it next time. Because of my mobility issues, I can't go to that restaurant, but I could go to this one. Could we meet there instead? I appreciate you thinking of me, but I woke up with a flare of symptoms today, and I'm not going to be able to come. But I hope to come next time, and I hope you have a wonderful time. Next is having a support network outside of our family. Sometimes our loved ones are not going to understand. They may not live with chronic illness, and there's no way they could know what it's like to live with this. Heck, I don't know how your symptoms affect you, as we all experience it differently. Having a network of support can be helpful. It could be a therapist, close friends, or an MS support group. Next is changing our expectations. It is okay to mourn our losses and grieve when we lose our abilities, but I don't recommend living there. We may not be able to do all the things that we could before MS, or do them as easily, but we can still participate in life and we can still do so much. Focusing on what we can do can help ease the feelings of loss or being a burden. We may not be able to hike a mountain with our kids or walk around Disney, but we can read with them, play with them, cook with them, watch movies with them, or do crafts with them. These are the things that they will remember. When I think of my grandmother, the memories that mean the most aren't the big fancy events. They're the little things like making applesauce or homemade donuts, or watching the Red Sox together, or reading the Sunday comics in bed with her. Next, know that you're not alone. I recently read that 6 out of 10 adults are living with chronic illness. More than half of us are living with chronic illness. Sometimes it can help to know that there are others going through some of the same struggles that we are. It also helps to put it into perspective. Most of us have something. Mine just happens to be MS. If there's areas where those that love us are doing extra tasks that we perceive as being a burden, such as driving us to appointments or taking time to shuttle the kids to their activities, perhaps we can give them more free time by doing more around the house, like cooking and cleaning. Or if we're unable to do things like that, perhaps showing appreciation to them and showing gratitude to them. A heartfelt thank you can go a long way. Do you have tips that you'd like to share? Please leave them in the comments below. I love the community that we're building here, and I would love to see all your tips in the comments section that help you deal with feeling like a burden so we can help each other. Thanks for watching. If you like content like this, please do me the honor of sharing this video. To see more on how my hubby and I live with MS, watch this video next. Until next time, be well.